It's super epic. I mean, it's such an incredible time to be a member or an associate of the Southern California PGA. As you can tell, our players are just absolutely kicking butt and taking names. At this time, I would love to call the meeting to order here at Tamarisk Country Club. So this is an official call to order. And I would like to bring up to the stage Mr. Robin Shelton to lead us through the flag salute and invocation.
Would you join me first in prayer? Or would you bow your head, please? Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this chance to be together, to enjoy the fellowship together with our PJ members, our PJ associates, our brothers and sisters. We just thank you for this opportunity to be here, for the safe travel here, the safe travel return home, and just a day that we can enjoy each other's company and be blessed by you and marvel at all that you've created. We thank you for this chance to be together, and we say this in your son's name. And everyone said, amen. And also, would you join me in the flag salute? Flag is behind us on the screen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Robin. Beautiful prayer. At this time, I'd like to officially announce the minutes from the 2022 annual meeting have been reviewed and approved and are now available on the section website. We have a tradition here in this section where we like to introduce ourselves to each other. It's a great way to put a name with a face and vice versa. So normally we're at tables and we call on tables, so maybe we can just start like in the left corner and inner way over to the right corner. But if you could just stand up, state your name and your host facility or where you work, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Southern California PGA. Good morning, Jeff Johnson, section staff. John McNair, JC Resorts.
Robin Shelton, Newport Beach Country Club.
James Shack, Mesa Verde Country Club.
Chris Gilly, Country Club.
Todd Keeler, Las Oaks.
Rob Blackbird, Stone Eagle.
Scott Hines, the Farms Golf Club.
Earl Lopez, El Caballero Country Club.
Logan Scott, Oakmont Country. Jonathan Golia, Oakmont Country Club. Edward Ken, Oakmont Country Club.
Ryan Sadowski, Desert Willow.
Derek White, Country Club.
Good morning, Ed Winnick,
SCPGA of America.
Warren Don Gas, Golf Club, California.
Steve Saunders, Temecula Creek Golf Club.
Peter Winiger, Temecula Creek Golf Club.
Randy Chang, Journey Katonga. Isaac Morgan, Journey at Katonga.
Jeff Brandon, Desert Roll.
Josh Dover, Desert Road Golf Course.
Tristan Taylor, PJ West, Mountain Dew.
Zach Casey, Citrus Club at PJ West.
David Anderson, KVS Golf Experience.
Good morning, Johnny Walker, Javier Golf Club. Morning, Billy Baker, Go Park.
Steven Robinson, the Golf Tech Systems.
There's Navarro, PJ West, work for
Brad Storman, Golf Professional, Men's California.
Thomas Chu, San Diego Country Club.
Todd Eichner, Desert Springs Golf Club.
Nick Malloy, Golf Club, Eastland. Harley, Energy Club. Neil Fish, Magic Golf Club, Chula Vista, California.
Brian Smith, the club champion.
Mark Williams, MGW Development.
Troy Clark, the Madison Club.
Frank Lindquist, the Torrey Pita.
Mike Aldridge, Callaway Golf.
Kirby Perk, Premier Golf Outlet. Robert Meyer, Mom's Golf Club.
Mike Weber, the Lakes Country Club. John McCarthy, the Lakes Country Club.
Roger Gary Golf Development Complex.
Kyle Robinson, Coronado Golf Course.
Tim Perung at Coronado Golf Course.
Brian Smock, Coronado. Mark Ellis, Coronado Golf Course.
Paul Holtby, Golf Development Complex, Land of Fife.
Eric Eby, the Reserve.
Chris Lump, Coronado Golf Course.
Cameron Carr, and I know Dad North.
Steve Miller, Anaheim Hills at North. Nick Redmond, Bel Air Country Club.
Dave Fotis, Bel Air Country Club.
Gary Walker, Golf Club. Brian Burlington, Sun Lakes Country Club.
Robbie Newville, Tuscaloosa Country Club.
Shane Lonshaw, Highway Golf Club.
Paul Dietschy, Redlands Country Club. Gary Slawinski, The Hadges.
Tim Boomer, Desert Horizons Country Club.
Rick Rupert, Desert Horizon.
Bobby Nickel, the Monarch Beach Golf Links.
Vinny Poncino, St. Louis Golf Course. Clay Sabatka, the Farms Golf Club.
Aaron Michael, the Crosby Club.
Tatum Mahon, the Crosby Club.
Anthony Valverde, the Crosby Club.
Dave Josh, PJ West Resort.
John Cummings, San Luis Country Club.
David Curtis, West Event Garage, Last Club.
Derek Rizzotti, Golf Club. Cole Farman, O'Donnell Golf Club.
Rick Spiegel, Woodland Hills Country Club.
Justin Lake Truth.
Eric Julian, Native Oaks Golf Club.
Arvo Voigt, The Springs Club. Seth Rich, The Springs Club.
Hannah Johnson. Karen Johnson.
Brian Miano, Los Serranos.
Colin Radchenko, Pacific Golf Management.
Bert Donahue, Calumet Golf.
Old Dan Sargent, Mesa Verde Country Club.
Tom Sargent, Mesa Verde Rehab Center.
Dennis Toon, Chaparral Country Club.
Doug Mark, Mike Member. Justin Moore.
Angela Buzzinski with the Hills Country Club.
Valenzuela, Mission Hills Country Club. Michael Hollick, Mission Hills Country Club.
Lance Peterson, Western Coast Country Club.
Ryan Paul, Marriott Valley Golf Range.
Kyle Valentine, Mike Member.
Jason Taylor, New Mexico.
Mike Mendoza, PGA.
Dave Williams, Plantation Golf Club.
Michael Jack, Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club.
Chris Mungo, Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club.
Kyle Mendoza, Hacienda Golf Club.
Jeff Dean, PJ West Private.
Blake Jurgis, Cody Valley Golf Club.
Gavin Wixer, Gary Street Golf Club.
Andrew Kramer, Los Serranos Country Club.
Vinny Mercania, Fast Forward Golf Academy in Los Serranos. Ryan Penfield, Twin Oaks Golf Course. Travis Garrett, Twin Oaks Golf Course.
Jeremy Clevenger, the Santa Luz Club.
I think Jeremy, you might have been it. Oh, sorry, we stopped going on the horn, sorry, Mr. Bergen.
Mike Bergen, Miss Bergen. Chief Troy, honor please.
Is that it? Did everybody get acknowledged? Mr. Irrelevant, Chief Choi, congratulations. All right, well, thank you very, very much for that. It's always great to put a face with the name. Now's the time for the President's report. I only have 5 pages of stuff to read to you. So hopefully everybody can be a little bit patient. But just first off, just want to welcome everybody. I'm Eric Lohman, the General Manager for Monarch Beach Golf Links. I'm your current President of the Southern California PGA, and it's an honor to stand up here and serve on your behalf. It's just, special for me to be out here at Tamarisk Country Club. This is such an iconic facility. We're very blessed to be here. I just want to say a debt of gratitude, thank you to the management group here at Tamarisk, the service staff and the professional staff for having us out here today, and obviously the membership for allowing us to be here at such an iconic club. Andy, the rest of us are trying to get through this 5 pages of notes. Hi, that's Andy Tooney. I don't think he got a chance to introduce himself. He's from Hacienda. But it's great to be here at Tamarisk Country Club. Just an iconic facility. We talked a little bit about yesterday at the board meeting. Frank Sinatra used to live on the 18th hole. There were several other celebrities that lived in that development. Ben Hogan was the first golf professional, and this facility hosted the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic for 19 years. So for us to be able to be here today and spend some time together as a group is just pretty phenomenal. I'm just thankful for that opportunity. For those of you who might not have known this, I actually grew up out in the desert. I went to high school out here in the desert. And I used to live just on the other side of the club here at Tamarisk, in between Mission Hills and Tamarisk. And I had this story that I like to share. Just when I was in high school and they were hosting the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic, I actually remember one year where I just kind of walked down the street, and like some facilities, it kind of, when they have tour events, it's pretty closed off. It's hard to get in. But like the off day at a Hope Classic isn't probably the most well-attended day with marshals and things of that nature. So I was able to sort of like walk into the gates. Nobody checked if I had tickets. I don't think I even saw anybody of official nature for the 9 holes that I walked on the back 9. And I remember I walked up and there was Mark Capavecchia was playing in this group, and at the time he was top 5 in the world. And I thought it was pretty neat to be this close with somebody that great and nobody's watching. I could sit there and get as close as I wanted to. And I watched Mark play. He teed off on a par 3 and hit a bad tee shot. At that time he was known for having a really bad temper. And he kind of had an aggressive way about him. Kind of thought I'd probably watch this one play out to see what would happen. He gets up on the green, or gets to the green, chips up, doesn't hit a very good chip shot. Kind of has another one of those sort of moments where he's kind of getting mad. Misses a short putt for par. And I remember this as he taps in, he goes over and he flips the ball out of the cup with his putter, which I'm pretty sure is taboo for all of us, especially in a tour event. Goes over to the fringe, tees it up, and then he launches it into this home development that was on the other side of my development. And I thought to myself as a young high school golfer, like, this is pretty cool, and that's a really bad example. But that was one of my moments, or one of my childhood moments of coming out here to Tamarisk to watch the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. I do, at this time, I would like to acknowledge some of our special guests in attendance. I do want to apologize in advance if I miss somebody. But we're very fortunate today to have the 2 PGA past presidents in the room. Mr. Jim Richardson is here with us today, and you can hold your applause at the very end. And obviously Tom Addis is with us, who's also a past SCPGA president. We have other former and past SCPGA presidents in attendance: Jeff Johnson, Todd Kiefer. I think I put Skip Woodett here, but I didn't see Skip this morning. I'm not sure if Skip made it. Andy Tooney, Tom Sargent, Bill Holbert, who also, by the way, is a former board member of the National Board and also a district director. We have Jason Taylor, John McNair, who's our current District 11 director, Tony Latendre, and honorary president Robin Shelton. So welcome and thank you everybody for being here. And I always find it kind of odd that we recognize just a few people. So I just want to make a note. I want to take time a moment to acknowledge and thank obviously our section staff, but also the many section and chapter board members who are in the room, and those who serve on our various committees. There's so many people in this room who make a difference within our section, And just for us to acknowledge a few people, to me, I think is a little short-sighted. So I just would want to thank them as well. Finally, I just want to say a nice thank you to the Desert Chapter, President Richie Valenzuela, and to the chapter at Michael Holick and the board of the Desert Chapter. It's just, again, it's special to be out here. I mean, in a room like this, where you all introduce yourselves. It's neat that we're in a room with about 80% of you from the desert, because not all of us get to meet some of you or interact with you. So it's great to be back out here, and again, we'll be coming back out here in a couple months too. Yesterday, we had a really good board meeting here at the club, which is in the room next door, and where we had a chance to kind of review up some of the past activities that the section has done. Currently, what we're focusing on, and we started to forecast a little bit into the future. But I can tell you, be rest assured that our committees and our chapters are very engaged, and we're producing some really good activity for our section staff to guide them. One of the things that we're emphasizing this year, and we can continue to emphasize, is diversity and inclusion, education, mentorship, and engagement. Obviously, you coming here, having a good time, enjoying yourselves, and coming back out to more of our events is super important to all of us. Our goal is to attract more members. Obviously, one of the biggest things that we have going on right now is recruitment and retention. And so that's a focus of ours, and that's a focus we believe of yours as well. It's hard for us to find good people all the time. You know, sometimes our searches now are taking longer than they used to, or we're having a really hard time finding somebody that we really think is great, that would replace somebody that we really enjoy or like working with. So I just want to say our goal is to attract more potential members, introduce them to our educational mentorship program, support them, and create long-lasting PGA members. As the board gets together, as the committees get together, there's this overreaching thing that is surrounding it, and I can promise you that's what it is. Last night we had a really great board meeting, or board dinner, sorry, at Las Casuelas. It's always great when the board can get together and some of the officers and VIPs, and we can celebrate what the board has done and what the section is accomplishing, especially with the interactive section staff as well. But last night we were able to also recognize one of our own who's retiring. For those of you who don't know, Jeff Johnson will be retiring at the end of the month. Jeff has long served our section as obviously a member, a board member, executive committee. He was a 3-year president from 2012 to 2014. And then now for almost a decade he's worked for us and served on our behalf as a section team member. So Jeff, I just want to say again, like I said last night, we'll say again here probably a couple more times, thank you for your service to our section, and thank you for your friendship and your mentorship. Jeff, when I became a board member, was, I think, president at the time. But I've learned a lot from Jeff and how his composure, his unwavering dignity and kindness. If you know Jeff, you know that these words are simple to say and understated in his delivery. But we hope to see you, Jeff. Obviously we'll see you the rest of this month, but as you come back as a past president, we'll be able to celebrate you some more. But thank you for your dedication and service to our section, so thank you. Standing ovation. Just have to say your name. At this time, I would like to just talk a little bit about the strategic plan and kind of give everybody an update on some of the highlights that the section has accomplished, and talk a little bit maybe about some of the things that they're going to be focusing on as well as what I've already mentioned. But for those of you who don't know, the strategic plan guides the section staff and is used to create the operating budget. It holds us accountable, and as you could say, it's the section scorecard. But it's something that we really, truly care about, and it's something that we do review on a regular basis, and the committees obviously utilize it as well. But the section has, as a reminder, the section has 3 lines of business. There's section, core, which is our golf tournaments, and then the foundation, which encompasses our junior golf efforts. In the section, when we talk a little bit about that's more education, communication, and marketing. For those of you who have hopefully been able to participate, we've hosted 11 catalysts so far in 2023. led by John Kulo. And I think we all owe John Kulo a round of applause for the work he does for Catalyst. With some of the stats that we've been able to produce, each one of those Catalyst averages 58 live attendees and 77 total views per session. And again, I think the calendar is going to be coming out fairly soon for the next quarter or so. So please keep an eye out for that, and if you can participate and continue to learn, that's such a great thing. Launchpad, the section's efforts to help tutor associates through level 1 PGM education. We finished our session on May 1st, and we averaged about 5 live and 68 total views per session. This is such a great thing that was created and continued by our education committee, and it's just a really nice resource for our associates so that they can get going in the correct educational path. So hopefully you're aware of Launchpad, either you participated in it or you're aware of it, and you can continue to push people towards that and let them know that that's a great resource for all of them that are taking advantage of it. We did host a business involved workshop on March 22nd, hosted by Mr. McNair, and had 22 attendees. That's again another higher learning opportunity that we brought back, and thank you, John, for inviting the section folks to be a part of that. But it's a great opportunity for those who want to get into executive management. We continue to do our California and Nevada chats. We do about those once a month, and through 5 sessions, we've averaged 58 live and 76 total views per session as well. Those generally have some really good themes and some great speakers. Kudos to Blake Jurgis and the Player Development Committee. We hosted our event May 1st at the Farms, and a bit over 90 coaches in attendance, which was a 40% increase over the 22 summit. Blake and the group put together a really good host of speakers, and it was well attended, and the Farms is an exceptional facility, and Scott Hine always plays a great host, and he and his team. So thank you and kudos for that program. Just so you all know that next year's event will be in May, it says here, at Coda de Casa, and Blake will be hosting at his host facility, so I'm sure he'll go out of his way to make it great for everybody. In regards to communication and marketing, the section's LPGA Enter to Win promotion gained 5,000 new emails. If you weren't aware, the section has an 80,000 person database for consumer use and for our use to help market some of the initiatives that our section has. So one of our biggest initiatives moving forward is to continue to grow that consumer database so that we can utilize it to help promote each other, help us with recruiting, help us with PGA.coach. So if you ever get an opportunity to support that, I definitely would recommend that you help us with that. In regards to social media, obviously we all saw in the video Michael Block. That's pretty amazing what happened with Michael. But because we were able to tag him and support him and him following us back, we gained over 1,000 new followers just because of Michael and us doing that. So that's pretty neat. Coming up, just to give you a little heads up, if you weren't aware, Mr. Addis is going to start a podcast. So I don't know if you guys knew this yet. Thank you. They bought the equipment, and in July there'll be a hot mic, and Tom will be behind it. And we can wait to see what comes about that. But I do believe his first guest will be Mr. Michael Block. So that'll be a pretty neat thing. Golf tournament. So hopefully today we're going to have a great event. But as you can tell with the events that we've held already this year, they've been very well attended. We've had 3 events. The senior junior event and the 2-stroke play events actually sold out and had a wait list. We have a wait list today. The Southern California Open featured a full field of 288 players and a $100,000 purse. I remember 10, 12 years ago when we resurrected the Southern California Open. It had been dormant for many years. And now it's one of the biggest events on the West Coast. So kudos to our section for doing that. So far year to date, we've had 585 members or associates participate in one event. I think that's outstanding. That's engagement. That's a true sign of engagement, and glad that we're all being able to take advantage of it. 81 of our members has participated in at least 6 events. 16 members have played in 11 plus events. That's a lot of golf. So that's a lot. Our annual meeting in the fall will be, or in December, is going to be at Mission Hills Country Club. We're very excited for that. In 2024, we're actually starting to work on our scheduling as well. For those of you who didn't know, it'll be our centennial, it'll be our 100-year anniversary. And the goal of our section is to try to get as many of our events held at the original 25 golf courses that form the Southern California PGA. We have, and I think we can announce that the 2024 section championship, this will be at Hillcrest Country Club. So that will be a really special treat for all of us. If you haven't been out to Hillcrest since they renovated, it's an amazing facility. It will be a true test for the championship. And then, including that portion of the report, the 2024 annual meeting will be held in Orange County at Santa Ana Country Club, about 5 minutes from my house. And we'll be excited because that'll be my last time I have to stand up here and talk to everybody. I want to address the foundation. Our foundation is doing some wonderful things. We have focused on so many, there's pillars within our foundation, one of which is PGA Hope. But our efforts have increased to 15 host facilities, which with a goal of 17 by year's end. And just so you compare that, last year that was 4 host facilities. So one of our biggest initiatives, it's something we definitely want you to think and consider, is becoming PGA Hope certified and then hosting one of these facilities, or hosting one of these events at your facility. I think I heard last night there might be 1,000 people on a wait list to get into one of our programs. So as you can imagine, there's opportunity there for all of us. This year, and by the way, this year we're expected to help out 430 veterans, which is up from 80 the prior year. One of the things that we do in our foundation is we ask people to give us money. We received a $5,000 donation from Hope instructor Barry Brandwine, and we got another $5,000 from Patriot Golf Days. These funds will be used to support additional sessions related to PGA Hope this year that were not funded by PGA Beach. One of the things that we do is we solicit grants. Our grant writer, Ellen Wright, is currently applying for 9 grants totaling $325,000. $325,000, you can do an awful lot of good. To date, the SCPGA Foundation has awarded over $32,000 in grant funding to support juniors on our junior tour. And we currently have a deadline of June 10th to award 17 scholarships and $75,000 through the SCPGA Foundation Scholarship. So if you know of anybody who's qualified or deserving, now's a great time for them to sign up for that because we're right at the deadline. Clubs for youth, our ability to give clubs to those who don't have them as they play high school golf. One of the SCPGA Foundation's hallmark acts of giving recently completed its final donation for the 2022-2023 school year, and we've exceeded over 100 sets donated to 16 schools. More than 20 golf clinics have been conducted alongside these club donations, thanks to all supporting straight costs. This is one of the best programs that we've ever had. We're going to continue to push it forward, and it's just pretty amazing. When you see these high school kids receive these clubs, give them an opportunity to play golf, and hopefully create a lifelong passion and of the game of golf. This is one of the ways, if not the only way, we'll attract these folks to get into our game. So this is something that we definitely need to continue to support. Junior golf. Membership right now is currently at pace like we've expected. We're about 3,100 juniors. By the time of the year ends, we'll have 3,600 juniors in our junior golf program. And it's crazy to think how many events, about 200 events, they'll host this summer over 3 tours. And think about the extent of that. As you can tell by the video with Rose Zhang, our alumni are doing incredible stuff right now. A young lady named Lilia Boo, one of our alumnus, won LPGA Major, the Chevron Championship. Rose Zhang won the Augusta National Women's Amateur, also the Pac-12 Championship, and then she turned pro and just went out and won professional golf tournaments. So congratulations to her. And it's pretty neat if you think about it. 3 of the top 6 men in the world currently, Patrick Cantley, Xander Schauffele, and Max Homa, all are alumnus of our junior tour. So there is a lot of success playing golf in Southern California group associated with us. That just about sums up the strategic plan. And if anybody ever was interested in learning a little bit more, you can reach out to myself, you can reach out to one of our executive committee board members or the section staff, and we can walk you through that and give you a little bit more information. But just know that the strategic plan, we're on pace to have another successful year. I can't thank the section staff enough for what they do. And I can't thank all the volunteers that are in this room and that aren't in this room who support these initiatives through the strategic plan. I wanted to review a little bit the education that we're going to do today. It's a little bit different, and I do promise I'm going to be done talking. We have Craig Can with us today. Craig, formerly of the Golf Channel and LPGA Tour, now a public speaker and management consultant, is going to present to us on how to elevate our personal brand. So Craig's going to come up and do a speech to all of us, and then we're going to break into 3 rooms based on our career paths that you selected when you signed up for the day's event. And then we're going to go and, with our peers, we're going to do a little discussion with a panel, and then Craig's going to jump in and continue his conversation as well. So we're very excited for that. And then when that's done, we're going to come back into this room for a final wrap up by Craig. Kim Falcone, a board member, is going to be moderating the golf ops. Blake Jurgis is going to be moderating coaching and teaching, and Tom Sun will be moderating the executive management. So thank you for those 3 for stepping up as well. In closing my report, I just wanted to say a few words about our very own Michael Block. We knew he was good, but did anybody in this room think he was that good? Pretty surprising. I know I was shocked. I was very pleased. I've known Michael for a long time, consider him a good friend. But just crazy to see what he did and how he did it and the way he handled himself. I can speak on my own, and I know he has great friends in this room as well, but how proud we are of his accomplishments and how we will support him as he enters this new chapter of his life. You know, Mike is SCPGA all the way and will continue to be a great ambassador of our section. He is just, I think, the perfect person to have this happen to. We're so happy for Mike, we're so happy for us, and we can't wait to celebrate with Mike when he comes back and to reality and spends a little bit more time with us. With the U.S. Open in a couple weeks in our own backyard at Los Angeles Country Club, and with our centennial being held next year, and obviously with all the success of all of our players and our committees and our board and our volunteers, it's a great time to be a member and an associate of the Southern California PGA. I'm honored to serve on your behalf. I'm honored to stand up here and support each and every one of you. And when I was at Newport Beach Country Club and I got sworn in and I made a declaration that we were number 1 of 41, you know, it was kind of a boastful declaration to say that. Number 1 of 41 sections within the country. But if you see the success that we've had recently, our players, our administration, our foundation, our junior golf efforts, our events, it just reiterates the fact that I think I might have been right. So I just want to thank each and everybody for coming out today. Appreciate you being here, and just honored to serve on your behalf. Thank you. All right, now we have a little short video about PGA.com. PGA, go Dodgers. I keep saying that. We have this as a dot.
PGA Hope is life-changing. When you hear a veteran say that this was the best day of his life in 15 years since he's been back, you can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on how much it impacts it.
Yeah, that was way better. How'd that feel like?
What? That was amazing.
The PGA professionals, we owe a debt of gratitude to that none of us could probably ever repay to them. God gave me golf, and then He gave me PGA Hope.
If you're a PGA professional out there and you're proud of those letters behind your name, use them for good. Grow the game.
Those brave men and women have sacrificed so much, and for us to be able to give back to them is really special, and it's something that's quite humbling.
I don't consider giving back. I'm just using what God gave me as a golf professional to help these guys out. And hopefully they pay it forward.
Just knowing what we give and add to the veteran's life and just making a difference and impact on that game is truly invaluable.
I had a pro literally say to me after training yesterday, "Gee, I'm a little hesitant. I'm not sure I can do this." And I think it was an hour and a half, 2 hours into the training session today. His eyes lit up and he goes, "Whoa." He goes, "This is a whole new ball game."
the biggest thing is the golf professional needs to understand that you have the time to do it. It's all what you're already doing. You just need to incorporate it into your schedule where it fits.
There are a lot of programs in the PGA of America, wonderful programs that change lives, but there's only one that saves them. It's PGA Hope. I encourage every PGA member to attend a training session in their section. And for those of you who are already trained, great, start coaching a PGA Hope program now. Not only will you be compensated for your time, you're making a difference in the lives of our nation's heroes.
Thank you to PGA Hope. I love you all.
Thank you. I would now like to invite up James Davenport to join me on stage. James retired from the Navy after 26 years of service. Following the Navy, James attended the Professional Golfers Career College, where he recently graduated. James is following his passion for golf and has started his journey of becoming a PGA member. James currently works at Native Oaks and the first tee of the Inland Empire. James is also assisting us with our PGA Hope programming. James, please join me on stage. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So, like Eric was saying, I spent 26 years in the Navy, and while I was still on active duty, I saw this video. This video just like tears me up every time I see it. And I said to my wife, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to retire, be a PGA pro, and then help out my brothers and sisters. So I've been on this path for 2 minimum wage jobs just to make the dream. My wife won't let me quit, and I owe a lot to the people in this room. I was depressed one day, decided to go on the PGA website, just ask a question. 20 minutes later, headquarters, email, we got you. Don't worry, we're going to put you in touch. From that point on, all the way down in the section, Nikki, Amberlynn, Ed, and Eric at Native Oaks gave me a chance to just be a part of anything that I could. So I go to the Rotary program, met a lot of great people in this room, and I'm here to try to get you guys to start your programs at different locations. It was great seeing it, and it was nice, signing up and going through it, but it wasn't until, I was struggling as a golf pro, trying to figure out life after the military, but going to Coronado and being there with Petra and Chris, it became the best part of my week. Sorry. I got a great support system. I got a great support system in this room now, and I truly appreciate that. But not everybody does. Not everybody has someone that they can rely on or be a friend to, and they look at you, and you guys are the pros. You're there to give your time to some people that probably need some help. So, if there's anything I can do to help you with Dan or Lynn, get you trained, qualified, get your program started, I'll come out to your place, have a conversation, break the ice, and break that wall down between the veterans and the PGA. They're just regular guys and gals and people that serve their country that just want to be around some amazing professionals. So please consider it, and know that not everybody has, the same abilities. I'll share with you, by the time I got done with my 26 years, the VA rated me 250% disabled, which is really just 100%. They take apart your body and say, oh, this is what your brain, or your arm, or your knee, or whatever. And no one expects that, no one expects that. I joined with my little brother, who was 17, I was 19 at the time. He got out 2 years before me, did 24 years. We followed our dad's footsteps, here. Thank you for your time.
You can definitely sense the passion of James and the effect that golf is having on his life. So we're just lucky to have you, and Native Oaks is lucky to have you, and we look forward to having you out at our clubs as we get more involved with PGA Hope. So thank you. At this time, I would like to call up Dr. Allison Kurt, Vice President Dr. Allison Kurt, for the Vice President's report. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. All three lines of business with the section of the Corbin Foundation are showing an increase in business the past 4 months. In our investment portfolio, many of you have seen your own personal investments be very volatile, go up and down, as ours has as well. But over the longevity of the 13 years that it's been managed, it's shown a 6.3% increase, which is still healthy. And our relationship with Canterbury, who's our financial advisor and portfolio manager, continues to thrive, and we connect with them quarterly to check in and make sure that the health of the fund is in a good place. But what I really want to ask you is, as a PGA member, how many times do you scan that board packet and look at the financials of our section, just by raising hand? And you can be honest. Before I became a board member or served in governance, I never looked at it either. But we always have a lot of questions about the finances, like why can't we do certain things? So I'd like to take the next couple of minutes to demystify some of the misconceptions we might have about our section finances. And I'd like to invite Jeff Johnson up to help as our resident expert answer a couple of questions about it. So Jeff, with the section being considered an entity of a 501c36, which is not for profit, it limits some of the things that our section can do in regards to members, tournaments, and so forth. So can you describe what the term annulment means and what that actually does in terms of restrictions of how we can use funds?
I think so. 501c6 is a tax-exempt organization. That's the organization that represents your section. It's not a very sexy topic, but it's important to point out that your section is comprised of three entities. A for-profit corporation that conducts our competitions, a charitable arm, 501c3, that provides assistance for junior golf, scholarships, as well as grants. And then the section itself, which is the umbrella, because it's a member service organization, a trade union, if you will. I shouldn't use the word union. But because of that, and because of the tax-exempt status, we are unable to benefit any individual member financially. And I think sometimes that's where things get a little sideways. We get a little cagey about doing things like we're doing today because we're not supposed to provide support for education, but we call this a meeting. And so we do everything we can to create an environment where we can use some of our section resources to benefit you. But whenever the word annulment comes up, I think it spooks people a little bit because it truly means what it says. As a tax-exempt organization, we may not benefit an individual member financially.
So with that being said, we have this very healthy portfolio from the sale of the golf course many years back and some proper management. Why couldn't we just take money out of that portfolio and add $1 million to the purse today, or help them with dues and so forth?
That would inherently benefit you and Michael. So, and I think that the answer is sadly the same, because it's money meant for section support and programs. It cannot benefit an individual because of the 501c6 corporation that governs everything we do.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate it. Yes. And also to be known that we haven't raised our section member dues since 2003. So that's been, I think, a pretty unusual thing for sections. And we've done so well with managing our finances to make education accessible, such as in today, but still calling in a meeting, and being very mindful of everyone's finances and the health and longevity of our section. So thank you so much, Jeff, for those insights. If you do have any other questions, our budget is transparent. You can log in, you can look at it. I'm happy to answer any questions or direct you to has a little bit more prolific answer. Thank you so much, and good luck today on the course.
Thank you. I'd now like to call up Secretary John Kulo for the Secretary's report.
Good morning, everybody. The Secretary's report, I'd like to talk about membership levels in our section. As of today, we have 1,265 PGA members in the section, 344 associates in good standing. The Metro chapter is the largest chapter at 604 members and associates. Bit of bad news on the associate suspension side. We do have 34 level 1 suspended associates, 11 level 2 suspended associates, and 1 suspended level 3 associate. The ratio of PGA associates to members at 344 associates to 1,265 PGA members is consistent with the national average across all 41 sections. The opportunity and the challenge going forward, tremendous opportunity exists, which Eric alluded to earlier. Our SC Junior PGA over the 3 tours has 3,000, almost 3,500 members. And that's going to create opportunity down the road because, of course, not all of those 3,500 Junior PGA members are going to be able to become Tour Pros. Many of them hopefully will fall in love with the game and choose to serve in this career path. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge the efforts of creating awareness that Ed Winecki and Junko Harkins, along with the section staff, have put in to create that awareness amongst the junior tour membership. And that seed planting, so to speak, is all part of the retention and recruitment effort that their efforts I'd like to acknowledge at this time. Thank you very much. Good work. The section currently has 355 members that are ADM certified. The PGA average member age in our section is 55. We do have an alarming statistic that we are challenged to overcome. 93% of our section membership is male, 7% female. However, I'd like to acknowledge the catalyst for change that 4 of the existing 10 section board members are female in Allison Kurt, Petra Cole, Kim Falcone, and Nikki Pritchard. And of course, we all have Nikki Gatch, our executive director, to thank for clearing the headway and making this effort, our executive director, Nikki Gatch. We have 18 master professionals in our section. There are 481 green grass facilities in our section. There are 166 enrollments in deferred compensation for our section, which is low. I mean, we challenge everybody to take the 5 minutes, enroll in deferred compensation program. It's quick and it's easy. We have 1,265 members, and the fact that only 166 are registered is clearly many of us don't know how easy it is to take that action. So we challenge you today to get registered for your deferred compensation. It's quick and easy. 34% of the SCPGA members have submitted their compensation profile. Again, it takes 10 minutes. We should be near 100% on this. And this is, not to steal Ed Winecki's thunder, but this all is part and parcel of how we all get compensated. Our employers, search committees, and all of the career enhancement staff, we depend on having those compensation surveys up to date. Employers need that information. It's going to ultimately lend to our salaries and what we get compensated. So please take the 10 minutes, complete your PGA compensation survey immediately. So a quick funny story about Ed yesterday. We're in the board meeting and he says, everybody in this room has completed their PGA compensation survey except for one person. And he said, but don't worry, I emailed that person this morning and challenged them to take their survey. And then half the room went, oh, thank God, because we hadn't remembered if we'd taken it yet or not. So, half-century members in the section, 50 years of PGA membership in the SCPGA, Max Anderson, Willie Getchall, Gabe Hrob, Dennis Pogue, and Victor Martin, 50 years. We do want to acknowledge a bereavement this year in our section. Phil Sulanile has passed away this year in 2023. And at this time we would like to acknowledge the new members to the section. Reese Hutchins, Isaac Morgan, Eric Nielsen, Brian Agencillo, Curtis Burkhead, Gina Umek, Nicholas Komatinsky, Kyle Robinson, and Adam Assisi. At this time, I'd like to call up Kyle Robinson, Adam Assisi, Gina Umek, and Isaac Morgan. Come up to the stage, please. And before I conclude the Secretary's report, I'd like to take a moment just to acknowledge my relationship and admiration for Mr. Jeff Johnson. And I told Jeff, I mentioned this to you last night, and I've known Jeff. I met him 25 years ago at Red Hawk. Doug Danovic introduced the two of us. And since that moment, I can't downplay the inspiration that Jeff has been to me. Every time I've reached out to him, or I've spoken with him, either on the phone or live, Jeff has an uncanny ability to make you feel like you are the most important person in the room. And I don't know what's going on in his day-to-day or the stresses that he has, but whenever I reach out to interact with him, he has the uncanny ability to make me feel like I'm the most important person in the room. So much so that he has been an inspiration to me in my own travels to try and be the same way. And thank you very much, Jeff, for that. I don't know if there's a better example of the humble golf professional than Jeff Johnson. We will miss you, and congratulations on a wonderful career. Thank you, everybody. That concludes the membership report.
Thank you, Secretary Kulo. At this time, I'd like to call up to the stage District 11 Director, Mr. John McNair, for his report.
Good morning. This morning I'm just going to give a brief overview of what's happening in our district as well as on the national front. I want to start with updating everyone who might have heard this, but the USGA and RNA are proposing to roll back the ball for league competition starting in 2026. So the PGA, just so you know, is not in favor of this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's going to make the game less fun. It's not going to be as enjoyable out there. Golf's tough enough, as we all know, and to roll the ball back is going to make it even more challenging. But the other reason is bifurcation. And what would happen is you would have golfers that would be playing the lead ball, some are playing the rollback ball. And how could that affect everybody in this room? I want to give an example. So let's say you have a member or a guest at your club and they like to play the shorter ball in their average rounds on a daily basis, or in a men's or ladies club. Then they go and they play the longer ball in the club championship. That's going to could put everybody in this room in a challenging situation. So that's just one example of what could be happening with this new ruling. They're proposing it happens starting in 2026, so you hear a lot more about that in the coming years, but just wanted to bring you up to speed on that situation. The second update is on the PATs. As I'm sure everyone's aware, for the last 20 or so years, the only way to pass the PAT was to go to a one-day event where you play 36 holes. And the good news is they made a change where now you can play two 18-hole rounds in a competition, whether it be a section event or an elite amateur event, to be able to qualify for the PAT. The PGA believes this is going to help in a couple ways. Number one, it's going to allow folks that maybe run the PAT tour an opportunity to play a course that might be more favorable to them, or an event that would be more favorable, as well as allows them to get a start on the PAT earlier than just waiting until they get to a section and start to play. So we think this is going to hopefully, again, get more people into the game, as Eric was talking about earlier. That's an objective of the PGA of America. The next topic is deferred compensation. And I know that Eric mentioned, I believe, but sign-ups are available. I want to see a hands. How many people have signed up for deferred compensation this fall? Okay, so about 15%. So here's another question. How many people like free money? Now, come on, every hand's got to be up for free money. So this is the closest thing you can possibly get to an opportunity for free money. I know Jeff and Allison talked about inurnment. For many years, this has been on the docket to try to change, but due to inurnment, it couldn't be figured out, but it finally was. And a little background on how it will work is you go to sign up. It only takes a minute or two to sign up. And once you do, there's about 16 different disciplines in which you can participate on, which is just doing things like being a good golf professional. A lot of it's on the player development side. Talked about PGA Hope earlier, participating in that, starting a PGA Junior League team, etc. Those type of things allow you to earn money. And you can earn about $1,500 per year, actually is the cap. And over the life, though, if you think about it, if you're a 30, 35-year PGA member, when you're 65, you can cash it out. It could add up because the compounding of that money could be a great amount of money for you on a retirement basis. So I highly urge everyone to sign up. There again, the closest thing to free money as you can possibly get. The other thing we're starting to use it in is a tool for recruitment. If you're talking to someone and they're thinking about being a PGA golf professional or some other field, this is a way to talk to them about, hey, basically we've got our own essentially 401k or retirement plan that is of no cost to you, that can add up a pretty nice amount of chunk of change, amount of money when you retire at age 65. So please sign up. There is a sign-up sheet, so you can just scan that QR code on your on the flyer for today to sign up right away. So please do to get yourself some money. Last thing I want to bring up and talk about is Jeff Johnson. I know everyone's talked about him, but I want to share a story about something he did very special in 2013. Jeff was president, I was vice president at the time, and we had a little challenge with the officers. There's 2 out of 4 could not make it, finish their term in a year. And so we had that happen, and Jeff basically stepped up and said, you know what, raised his hand, said, leaned in, I'll do it one more year. And it wasn't only that day that I learned how special Jeff was to step up and make it happen, and the time he put in of being the president, but it really was his leadership. I know, Eric said some amazing things, as well as John, but his grace, his leadership, he's just honestly one of the nicest human beings in the planet. And I know John said he makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world, and you really do. But really, I want to owe you, and myself, I owe you, as well as the officers that have followed, a great debt of gratitude for all you did to show us the right way to do it. So thank you very, very much, which has helped the entire association and our section. So, Mr. Jeff Johnson, thank you very much for all you've done.
Thank you, John. This time I'd like to call up our CEO, Mrs. Nikki Gash.
Down a little bit. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. Eric, this is our first meeting together.
I know.
So cool. Eric recapped a great first half of the year, and we're thrilled with what we've accomplished so far, and really energized to enter the busy summer and fall months ahead. So looking forward to seeing many of you a lot in the coming months. We have many educational opportunities highlighted by the 7th Annual California Teaching and Coaching Summit this October, for our section championships, our foundation programming that you learned about, and only about 200 more junior golf events. So we're looking forward to a great second half of the year. It has truly been my pleasure and honor to serve as your executive director, and that sounds really cool to say that. Truly a career highlight for me. Like Eric, he mentioned he grew up here in the desert. I did as well. Eric and I grew up playing and competing against each other in desert junior golf and in high school golf. So it is really cool and special for the two of us to now be in these leadership positions, leading this amazing section. So talk about recruitment. It was happening way back then to alumni, doing some cool things together. But unfortunate not only to have great support system from Eric and of course the rest of the board of directors and all of you as members and fellow members, but I have an amazing team working alongside me every day. I can promise you that your section staff is comprised of talented, dedicated, and passionate professionals working tirelessly every day on your behalf. I'm pleased to also share that we currently have 5 PGA members and 3 associates on staff, a number that we'll hope to continue to grow and support them through their PGA journey. Everything we do is centered around our team values of teamwork, passion, innovation, impact, and stewardship. And together as a team, we came up with those values. We're reminded of those values every day as we walk into your headquarters building, as those values are on the wall as you walk in. We have some of our staff today. Of course, not everyone is here. They're back at headquarters holding down the fort. But I do want to recognize those that are here. I think most of them are in the room. Let's hold applause till the end. Our tournament director, Max Despain. Tournament coordinator, Tyler Glover. Foundation director, Anthony Leone. Section and partner relations and PGA Hope manager, Amberlynn Dorsey. Communications director, Bryce Siever. Communications manager, Danny Cross. Section operations manager and soon to be your new membership director, Steve Monday. Our PGA Works fellow and advocacy lead, Matt Rogers. And our PGA career consultant, we consider him part of our team, Ed Winecki. Of course, our chief membership officer and financial officer, Jeff Johnson. And our executive director, emeritus, Mr. Tom Addis. Thank you guys. Go off script a bit, but there's one special person in the room that has helped us for so many years. Was one that I am the 5th executive director to serve this section. There's 3 executive directors in this room that serve this section, and one of which you may not have even known this because you know him as the rules guru of our section. He's at every event he can. Mr. Ron O'Connor is here, and I just want to recognize you, Ron, for everything that you've done for us. Do all of the amazing things we do without the support of our partners. We've been fortunate over the last couple of years to bring in many new partners, supporting all of our programs throughout the section, tournaments, education, junior golf, foundation. We greatly appreciate all of them supporting us, and we appreciate you supporting them. That's very, very important. And your support to them allows them to come back and continue to support our section. So thank you for that. If you ever get an email or a call from us, say, hey, could you take a few minutes to talk to this partner? We really appreciate it, and just know that it goes a long way. We have some of our partners here that I'd like to recognize on stage and have come up. From Club Car, Kevin Kalmer. Kevin's still here? Some of them may have left. Understanding all the sponsors that are here today, and if you're still here, if you want to please just join me on stage real quick. So Kevin Kalmer from Club Car, our title sponsor today, longtime sponsor of the section. Amy Lipton from Amy Sport. Kelly Nickel from Seaweed Bath, Ian Crick, PGA member from Strapline, David Hamilton with Tag Marshall, John Berry with Blue Golf, and Craig Landon and his team from Puma. We've got quite a few, and I'm not sure if Joakim Rising from Wilson is here, but gentlemen, I don't think Amy's here, but gentlemen, thank you. Craig, would you like to say a few words, maybe introduce your team?
Hi everyone, I'm Craig Landon, I'm the Southwest Regional Manager for Cobra Puma. I've got my guys with me, they cover all parts of the section that will be calling on you. If you haven't seen the line in a while, there's been a lot of changes with Puma. Our Comfortably Bold campaign with the new logo placement on the back yoke for branding, really opening up the left chest and doing everything that the country clubs that we've listened to over the years wanted. So hopefully you'll take a look. It's really done a long way the last few years. So, and I'll allow that my guys each introduce.
Hi, Mike Bryant. I'll be the new rep down in San Diego and up into Orange County. Great to be here with the Southern California section.
My name is Darren Bial. I'm in the LA territory, and thank you guys for having us.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan Knickerbocker. I cover the desert and then a good chunk of Inland Empire. Thanks for having us, and if there's ever anything I can do for you guys, just don't hesitate to reach out.
Team Puma. Kevin, would you like to say anything or just hello?
Hi, Kevin Keller, Club Car, covered the San Diego Orange County market. Thanks for having us out today. We're glad to be a part of the Southern California PGA and the PGA of America. And thanks again, and hopefully we'll be talking soon. And we saw our nice matte black beauty demo out there. We're doing some cool standards and some cool upgrades. So check us out. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Thank you. First of all, thanks for having us and thanks for the opportunity. I'm relatively new to Tag Marshall. I just came on board kind of mid-March. I've been in the industry a long time. See a lot of friends out there, Jim Richardson, and proud to call Eric Loman a friend. I'm a big fan. And just the whole team had a chance to meet Nikki virtually, but not to go into a lot of the nuts and bolts of what we do, but we're a GPS technology company, basically kind of the Waze and Google Maps of what we do and reporting and on-course optimization and really helping you try to maximize revenue and maximize efficiency. So, we really will try to give you actionable data. So, Club Car, our friends from Club Car, I spent 20 plus years with Club Car, so I have a lot of respect and admiration for what they do, but love to have an opportunity to work with you guys and get to know you a little bit more, and truly honored to be a part of this. I think with the success of Michael Block and just what you guys have done and the success you've had with all the players, everything was referenced this morning, you got a lot to be proud of. And, tremendous admiration for PGA Professional, what you guys and girls do every day to drive the growth of the game. So thanks for having us.
Hey everyone, my name is John. I'm with the West Territory for Blue Golf. We do tournament management for the section. We've been a partner for a while and really excited to be here. Really to promote our new club product. So we're working with a lot of sections and junior tours over the years, but really excited to offer an alternative to you guys at the club level. Need anything, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
And fellow PGA member Ian Brick. Strap line.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me. I'd also like to thank Nikki and everyone for allowing us to support these events. As PGA members, really fun for me to be able to give back, support these events. For those of you who maybe didn't see me outside, I still have quite a few books for today, Tamarisk. So please stop by and see me before you tee off, and good luck out there. Play well.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate your support. I didn't miss anything. Okay. All right, one more thing as I wrap up. And this may be I'm sure it won't be the last recognition. But Jeff, could you please join me on stage? And I'd like to ask your beautiful wife and daughter, Karen and Hannah, could you join us on stage as well?
Yeah!
A lot of amazing things have already been said about Jeff. What can you really say about someone who truly has dedicated his life to this association? He's been recognized by his peers in just about every category possible within the PGA. Junior golf, professional development, the President's Award, honorary life membership, Golf Professional of the Year, and of course, he's a Hall of Famer. I've had the pleasure of knowing Jeff for over 20 years and have enjoyed being on section staff during his presidency, and most recently working alongside him the last few years as fellow staff members. Jeff, I'm not sure if there's anyone that leads the PGA Blue and Gold like you. Your selflessness, caring spirit, and passion for this association has been the catalyst for so many great accomplishments in this section. You have left a footprint that will not soon be forgotten. Karen and Hannah, and I know Melissa as well, but she couldn't join us. You're here today to help us celebrate your dad, your husband, and wonderful Jeff. We'd just like to give you a big thank you for sharing him with all of us. Jeff, thank you for being a friend, a mentor, and leader for so many of us. We wish you and your family the absolute very best. We have a little book for you. Most of your friends in the section have written some great stories and memories and nice notes to you to enjoy, and we just hope that you continue to eat cake and be merry.
Enough about me. This is all I ever wanted in my life, was to be in a room again and again with the best people I know. So, with enduring thanks and sensational amounts of gratitude to our board of directors, to our president, to our officers, to our extraordinary staff, to our CEO, to our former CEO, Emeritus, who often told me that sometimes the best thing to do is just say thank you. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you for a lifetime of memories, and know what a treasure it is to share your company. Thanks.
Thank you, Nikki and Jeff, family. I announce my honor to introduce our guest speaker today, our presenter, Mr. Craig Can. And some of you may or may not recognize Craig from his time with the Golf Channel, but he's much more than just a pretty face that was on the channel for many, many years. He's an astute speaker, motivator, and C-level trainer. And we're just honored to have him today to help us out and to guide us and give us some education. Craig, along with helping us today, has helped out many Fortune 500 companies like Accenture, KPMG, Microsoft, Transamerica, Hilton, and such forth. He was out there today with his book that he wrote. If you haven't had a chance to see it, please take a look at it before you head out today. The book titled, Can You Get Our Attention?, focuses on the art of standing out and the importance of story and building a brand worth following. It quickly reached Amazon's top 25 list and has earned multiple awards as best in category. Just for the sake of time, because we are running a little bit behind, let's welcome our featured speaker and a man who knows how to inspire audiences, build brands, and get other people talking, Mr. Craig Can. Thank you.
I'm actually going to do a little walk and talk instead of being on that stage. I want to say thank you to everybody here today. Recognize a lot of faces, and some that I don't, it's been a pleasure to meet already. There was one gentleman who came up to me while I was sitting out there before I started today, and he said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Good. He said, what brings you here? I said, well, I'm going to be the featured speaker today. He paused. He said this. Keep it short. In the essence of that, I just want to say a couple of things. It was great to meet him. I will not be traveling with him. Here's the thing. I want to thank these folks for bringing me here. And I know a lot of people who get to do what I do. But I hear a lot of them, and they say things like this. I have to go to Chicago next week. I have to go meet with a team. I have to do a Zoom call today. I have to go to San Francisco. I gotta get on a plane. You know what? I have to do this. I have to do that. We don't have to. I don't have to be here today. And that's one of the biggest problems that I see in every industry. And specifically, we're all in the same family here, specifically in golf. We don't have to. Jeff didn't have to. We all get to. And today, I'm honored that I get to be here. And I hope that's the attitude, if you take nothing else from what I'm going to talk about today. I hope you'll walk out that door and think about the role that you have and the opportunity that we all have. Because we get to do this. We get to be a part of a fabulous game. Now, how many of you have a social media platform that you use? Average American has 7 of them. Raise your hand if you're on social media. I think Jeff is on TikTok. He was just telling me today that he started that. I have 2 girls. They're on Snapchat. I mean, I drive around with them and they're doing this every 5 seconds. And I said, what do you do? Why don't you just do it once? No, I have to do it with every single person that hits me up. I said, okay, whatever you need to do. Here's my challenge to each and every one of you. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Twitter, whatever it might be, I have a challenge for you. Today, there's going to be an aha moment. Something will have already been said or might be said here while I'm standing here or from somebody else who will come up on stage at some point. The aha moment. What I would like you to do is post something on your favorite social media platform. But I want you to use the hashtag ElevateSoCalPGA. And if everybody does that, just one thing, just one post on your social media platform, use a picture, something that you will remember today by, and you put that hashtag at the end of the day. If we were just thinking about Twitter, and we all scroll down, and you put that in there, you'll see everybody's comments. So why do we do that? We do that to create awareness. We want to grow the brand of your section. 1 in 41, right? Well, let's tell everybody about it. Because that's why I'm here today, is to help elevate you all and help elevate this section. And that's why you're here today, is to do the same. So all I ask is one thing, and if you tag me at Craig Can or at Can Advisory, I will follow up with a comment and we'll continue the conversation because that's what we want to do. We don't want to post at people. When we do social media, we don't want to just throw out a message. We want to engage. We want to connect. We want to get people to feel something. And so my challenge is not 10 posts, because nobody will remember that. But I want your aha moment. Everybody all in? One. One post that we can all look back on. All right, this thing is a little jumpy. I've been where you've been. I've sat in a lot of meeting rooms like this, and I've been to professional development events in places that I've worked. I've been to conferences. And oftentimes, I feel something in an audience, and I've felt the same way. You come in here today, and everybody says, we got a big meeting. We're going to have some speakers. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. And you know what? In the end, and I still see people standing out in the room. No offense, standing out in the room. They're not in here taking up a chair, but they're out in the room. And they say, so what? You know? Who cares? Just another meeting. But by and large, the biggest thing that people think, most audiences, and it's fine, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, if everybody looks within and everybody walks out of here feeling something special, then we all gain. So to me, today, and I'll say some things about my career, but I want you to think about it from your perspective. I want us all to do that. And I want you to think about this. Go back to your childhood, and you look at that picture right there. I want you to think about what your superpower is. Now, I just heard the average age of everybody in the section is like 55. We got to change that. We got to get new, fresh ideas, new, fresh people. We need mentorship. We need training. We need retaining not only the best that play the game, but the best that want to work within the game. But what is the superpower? Each and every one of us has an inner genius. We all do.
I don't know what yours is, I don't know what yours is, but we have to think about that. What is our superpower? Because that's what defines you. That's what will make the impact that Jeff has made. That's what will make the impact that Nikki makes, or Eric makes, or any of you that want to be leaders within this industry. Have a look at this right here when we speak of superpowers. All right? You've probably heard of Dale Carnegie. 85%, we all want to add money to our back pocket. 85% of our financial success comes from what is called human engineering. That is the ability to communicate and present. Only 15% of the money that you make comes from what we went to school for. Oh, I gotta work hard, I gotta get this degree. My son just graduated this past weekend. Does it really matter? How does he connect? How do we all connect? That stack is huge. Technical knowledge? Yeah, sure. Great to have a resume, but how do you make people feel? So with that, bring somebody up here. Let me see who I've got. Gary Swansea. Where's Gary? Come on up, Gary. Is Gary out in the back? Is he one of those guys? That's perfect. Proved my point already. All right, where's Jeff D? Jeff? You know, registration apparently was going swimmingly well. Is John McCarthy here? John, how are you doing? Come on up. We will all remember Gary Sawinski, won't we? And Jeff. Good to have you. This is yours. See this right here? I'm giving you this. This is your audience. I want you to tell everybody who you are and why they should care.
Well, I'm John McCarthy. I'm head golf professional of Lakes Country Club, and I'm here today to hear some good speakers and not playing golf, but you should care because I'm a member like a lot of you are.
What's your superpower?
Well, I think I'm a lot like Jeff, where I'm good at making people feel like we're the only one in the room. With my members, that's my superpower, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for coming up here. Let's give him a round of applause. Just so you know, I don't call on somebody, be it Jeff, that wasn't here, or Mr. Swinsky.
He's here.
Well, that's okay. He missed his turn. But anyway, I don't do it to embarrass anybody. I call up CEOs, I call up leaders of organizations, professional athletes, coaches of college football teams. I do it with everybody. Why? Why do I do it? Well, two reasons. And he proved one of them for me. The first one is most people. Now, did I tell you how long you had? No, because somebody says we're going to be short on time. So I didn't tell you that. But I gave you the stage. I gave you the opportunity. I gave you the microphone. And I said, basically, tell us what your superpower is. Tell us why we should care. Tell us what is the greatest strength you bring. What is your story? I didn't give you any parameters. You could have gone wherever you want. If you would have wanted 10 minutes, I'd have pulled you off. But you didn't do that. The first thing is most people don't think about what happens when they get called up. They don't think about the value they bring. I say I'm an elevator. I elevate people to become better and help build their brand. I help companies to become bigger through a better message and greater awareness. I help events to become grander. I elevate them as well. What is your story? What do you say? That's the first reason I do it. Most people don't think about that. Now, the second reason I do it, to prove that as well, because the minute he came up, I looked at people's eyes. While he's talking, I'm looking around. Everybody's like looking down, talking to somebody else on their phone all of a sudden. You know what? They're thinking, uh-oh, he's going to bring me up next. So, at that point, I have all your attention. Thus, the name of the book that's out there. And getting people's attention today is very difficult. And I welcome you to come out and get a book, $20 to the PGA of America, and I'd be happy to sign it for you. It's called Get Our Attention. That is the biggest part of it. Can you get our attention? And what is your message? I want you to all do me a favor. For 1 minute, we won't get there. Close your eyes for me, real quick. I want you to think about where you are right now, and I want you to think about where you'll be in 5 years, where you'll be with your career. What impact will you have wanted to make? What will the influence be in your mind? Who do you want to benefit? Who do you want to have learned something from you? What do you want your message to be? What will your legacy be in 5 years? Do you know where you want to be? Most people don't think about that. You can open your eyes. When we imagine our future, we have to think deeper. And I ask you to think about what it's going to take to get there. The light bulb is something that goes off for everybody. Now, I don't know if it just went off for you. I don't know what it is that you actually want to do in 5 years, where you want to be, but I can be pretty sure. How many in here feel they're a leader? How many want to be a better leader? So if you do, then you have to think forward about the impact that you'll have an opportunity to make. What will people say about you? And when I closed my eyes years ago, I had an image, and it was the mountain. It was the elevate thought process. And I've had the opportunity to work with all these brands and many others behind me to help elevate them and take them to the next level by thinking differently from when they walked in the room. Now, many of you probably don't give yourself enough credit for being a brand. You might sell a brand, you might think about a brand, but you are a brand. And if you didn't walk in that door thinking about brand and what I give off, who I help, what I do, then you've cut your legs out from underneath you before you ever got started with whatever role you have. And all the people that work for you need to think the same way. We all have a brand. And that brand is not for Eric what happens when he's on this stage, for Nikki when she's on this stage. Our brand doesn't begin in this room. Our brand is what happens when we leave. What will people think? What will people say about us? What will people share about our messages? What will they tell others about the impact that we've made while we were in that room? So I ask you, because you all raised your hand about leadership and wanting to be that person, or perhaps take others that are on your team to that level. Can you honestly say each and every day, by a show of hands, that you give maximum effort every day to be the best you can possibly be? Raise your hand if you say you do that. 100%. You never mail it in and drive there and just take a breather. Yeah, we're all guilty of it. But see, if we want to be a person worth following, if we want people to follow our lead, then we have to be worthy of that. We have to do things that make people pay attention to us. We have to create the legacy that you closed your eyes to think about where you want to be in X number of years. We have to push ourselves to a higher level. We have to elevate ourselves. And so it's time that we view, in my opinion, our success through a new lens. And we do need to think about light bulbs. Very quick story. 2015, January. I had a meeting when I was at the LPGA with my communications team. And I asked our executive assistant the day before, I said, I need one thing for the meeting. She said, what do you need? I said, I need a box of light bulbs. She said, what? I said, trust me. I just need a box of light bulbs. That next day when everybody came in, at the table in our boardroom, all the communication staff, the LPGA, had a light bulb in front of them. And what I told them was, at some point this year, we're going to win here, creating greater awareness for women's golf and the LPGA by having a light bulb moment, each and every one of you. Because you all want to go to the next level. And when that elevate moment happens, when that light bulb goes off, I don't care if it's in January, March, or August, I want you to come to me with your light bulb. And on my big whiteboard on the wall, we're going to write down your idea. And at that point, that light bulb is all you. And then from there, we're going to find out if you can be the leader that can get everybody else to follow your lead. I don't need 10 ideas. You got 10, you got none. We need to figure out as a collective group what the best three are, and we'll attack it from there. And we will not work to make a paycheck here. We will work to make a difference here. And we will figure out what that is. That light bulb led to the LPGA in 2015 being voted among the 5 finalists for Sports League of the Year for the first time in the history of the organization. I don't take credit for that. It wasn't all my ideas. But we have to challenge people and give them the opportunity to become that. A brand new you. And that's what I talk about with groups. Brand is the important word. Elevating our presence and amplifying our performance. How do we do that? How do we become that brand new person? It starts with a mindset shift. That's what happens. Now, how many of you in this room are wearing a watch? Raise your hand. Okay, don't look at it. But I will tell you this, I'm wearing one. I look at it how many times a day? We look at it how many times a week? How many times in a month do we look at our watch? Think about that. But you know what? If I gave you a pad of paper and a pen and I said, draw your watch for me, I guarantee you, scientific proof says you can't do it. You will not get it exactly correct. I know I've got a watch with a blue band. I think I have a blue face on it. I cannot honestly tell you whether the numbers are Roman numeral or regular and what color they are. Are they silver or are they white? Do I have a second hand? Is it moving? Or is my battery dead? I don't know. Why? If we look at our watch that often, but we can't draw it like that with all the specifics, why is that? It's because it's not sticky. It's not sticky. And so what I ask you is, are you sticky? When you go to work each and every day, is this section sticky among 41? What is it? Because the stickiness factor is what makes us memorable. And so we need to become noteworthy as individuals. If we all want to be leaders, and we perhaps want to be Eric someday, or Nikki someday, or Jeff someday, how do we do that? How do we make that impact? The sticky factor is big, and this is important. Ordinary doesn't work today. Those 5 pairs of white shoes, ordinary. The only thing that works is extraordinary. I used to tell my team, I don't care if you're here 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years. We're going to work right now. We're going to try to make a difference, not a paycheck. What will your legacy be? When you leave here, what will they say that you accomplished? We need to find a way to stand out. That's the challenge for all of us. How do we become the green shoe and not the white shoe amidst all the PGA professionals? We always talk about 28,000. Jim, is it 29 yet? There you go. 29,000. Who's sticky? Who's memorable? Who's got a legacy? Whose impact have you made? If the average age is 55, what have you done in the last 20? Because here's the thing, and that's an opportunity that I had. Opportunity, not obligation, to be on a stage in Niagara Falls in front of 800 people. All right? So how do you present your message as an organization, as a section? That's important. How do you present the message? Is it white shoe or is it green shoe? Because if you can communicate properly, go back to my Carnegie conversation, effectively, connect, communicate, convince, the 3 C's. If you can do that, there's big wins out there. More people know about your section. More people know about the PGA of America. And we can get past this nonsense of PGA Tour, PGA of America. Most people don't even know. That's the challenge for the PGA. I never hear anybody talking about the PGA Tour having to try to figure out how they're going to get people to understand. But it is incumbent upon the PGA of America to do it. And by the way, I don't just say this. Jim would know this. Eric would know this. Other people that know me. I covered a lot of major championships in my career. PGA of America, my favorite organization. I'm not saying that because I'm here. From a media standpoint, everybody gets it. They know how to treat the media. They know how to put on a major championship. They know how to treat people. The course setup's the best of all the majors, in my opinion. Love the PGA. But how is this section different? And how is this section green shoe? Because it's not just about the message you present, it's all about you. How do you present you? See, there are a lot of people today that are talking. Yap, 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 yap. Every TV show, bunch of talking heads. Everybody's got something to say. Right? How many people actually have something worth saying? How many people actually have something worth remembering? And how many people are worthy of being sticky and being memorable? I have a pretty decent following on social media. I don't want to be known. I want to be knowable. There's a difference. What are you known for? What is your brand? And how can we be the green shoe? So if we go to the watch, and then you think about the people that work for you at your club or your course or your facility, will the people that are out playing golf remember you and the impact you've made? Or do you just go to work every day as one of 29,000? We're all on the clock. Speaking of the watch, we don't have a lot of time. People don't give us a lot of time. Here's how much time you have on this stage. Here's how much time you have in front of this audience. We all have audiences. Average attention span of a human being, 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Allegedly, a goldfish is 9. How they know that, I have no idea. You can Google it, though. 8 seconds. I was doing a workshop for a big company. Guy raises his hand in the back, because everybody's going, 8 seconds? Oh my gosh, that's right. That's what Eric had when he went up here. You had 8 seconds. I don't know what you did with the first 8 seconds, but you got to make the first 8 great. Got to say something that gets people's attention. Guy raises his hand, said, Craig, I got to interrupt you. I said, okay, what's the problem? He said, 8 seconds is a really long time. You're dead wrong. Stage is yours, buddy. What do you got? Got the whole audience. He says, I was a professional bull rider for 18 years. Let me tell you something. 8 seconds is a damn long time. Said, you're right, you win. But 8 seconds is not a lot of time. You want to hand out the Wanamaker trophy? What are you going to say? How are you going to get their attention? There's a lot of trophy ceremonies. There's a lot of speakers. There's a lot of speeches. It's not about what you say. So if you want to remember something here for your social media post, remember this. It's not about what you say. See, I start every talk before I ever get here with when you're gone. And I work backwards. What will you say? What will you tell others? Most importantly, it's not about what we say, it's how we make people feel. The human connection, back to human engineering. Can we give people an emotional feeling so powerful that they'll go tell somebody else, you should have been there. People say, Craig, can you come to a keynote? Can you do this workshop? Can you be in front of our team, give a talk? I don't do talks. I don't do keynotes. I don't do workshops. Yeah, you do. I just, what is your website? No. I try to give an experience. I try to give an experience. Experience leads to connection. Do you provide an experience each and every day? Does your team provide an experience each and every day? You need to begin with when they're gone. When they leave your golf course. When they leave your facility. How many people at your club, your course, have a starter? First tee. How many have a closer? Bingo. You can travel with me. Why? Why don't we? I don't need somebody to tell me to have a good day. Enjoy the course. Here's your scorecard. I want somebody to ask me how my experience was. You want to keep people playing the game? Figure out how to make them happy and go tell 4 other people. Give them a beer coupon. Get a social media post. Have a picture of the day. Have a closer, not a starter. Just think like that. It's how do we think differently? Carnegie's big. This one's big too. And this guy's got more money than all of us put together. You can improve your career value, no matter what you do, by more than 50% by owning one thing. And that is the ability to communicate effectively with an audience. And remember this. It's not the size of the room that matters. It's the size of your message. What are you going to say that will give others a feeling of connection? Story is important, path is important, and I want to give you a very quick synopsis, but I don't want you to look at this from my perspective. I want you to look at it from yours. I was a kid at 8 years old. All I ever wanted to be was a sportscaster. Tried to get to the network level, and I achieved that dream. I spent 18 years at Golf Channel NBC, traveled the world, covered many tournaments. opportunities to interview Tiger Woods in '97 in Butler Cabin. Flew on an airplane with Arnold Palmer. In my role at Golf Channel, NBC, I was a presenter. After 18 years, I was given this amazing opportunity to go work for the LPGA as a chief communications officer. I took the job because, frankly, you throw somebody into the C-suite that's been sitting in a studio wearing makeup and reading teleprompters, that does not happen. And I felt blessed, honored, and flattered to even be asked to consider it. I spent 5 years there presenting on behalf of the LPGA, presenting the LPGA in women's golf. I have my own show on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. Each Monday night, 6 to 8. Tonight, it's best of, because I'm here. In that role, connected with Craig Camp, I'm a presenter. I present the stories, the guests, the game. I have a podcast called Tracks to Success. People from all walks, including astronauts who commanded 5 space shuttle missions for the United States. And in that role, I'm a presenter, presenting inspiring people and their inspiring stories. I started Camp Advisory Group in 2016 after 5 years at the LPGA to go and try to make a difference for organizations to help their people learn not just to present the company story, which we work on, and get everybody singing from the same sheet of music, but learn to present the best of themselves. And when I represent my own brand, I am a presenter. Keynotes, experiences. That's New York City with all the folks at KPMG North American Communications. They rented a movie theater, and in that role, not just presenting my information, but presenting me in delivering that to communications executives who spend each and every day figuring out not just what to say, but how do we say it, and working their way backwards if they're doing it right to say, what will they say if we say this? How will they act or react if we do this? Work your way backwards when they're gone. I have a book, and I'm honored to be able to present it to you all today. And whenever I sign books, just did it in Chicago 3 nights ago, I present not only the book, but because I'm attached to it, how is it presented? And how do I present myself? So now, I want to hear from a couple of you. Chris Lundahl? Chris here? Yeah. Come on up, Chris. Heidi Richardson? How you doing? You're feeling really good right now, aren't you? At least you're here. Okay. So anyway, there's the goal. You get 1 minute for the sake of time. All right? Heidi, I'm going to let you go first. I want you to tell us about you, your value to the PGA in this section.
All right, awesome. So stoked to be up here. I was trying to raise my hand. Okay, my value to the PGA. I love the PGA. I'm very lucky that my first job was I landed under Tom Addis and Jeff Johnson. So I was lucky from the beginning. And let's see, my value. I represent the PGA. I tell everybody I know, all my clients, how awesome the game of golf is, how much you can learn from the game of golf, how awesome the PGA of America is, players and all of us in all of our positions, and how the game of golf is really a microcosm of life, and everything that we learn in golf, our experience out on the golf course, the beauty, the challenges that we have. Basically, the golf swing and the game of golf is a microcosm of our lives, and we learn from that.
All right. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been in the golf business for close to 20 years. It's been quite an experience. The Southern California section has been a huge part of that. I had the privilege of starting at a golf course in 2004, where I met my future wife. We just got married actually a couple months ago. And I've worked at some excellent facilities under some excellent head pros. And I think that's kind of the gist of the business as far as learning from people that have experienced it before you. I think it was, I spent 15 years at one golf course and learned a lot. learned a lot what to do, what not to do, how to start your own business, how to continue with that, and now I'm at a great facility. We have actually 7 of our club pros are in the room tonight or today, Class A's, which kind of speaks out to how they run things at Coronado. It's a great spot, and been blessed to be part of 3 great facilities in my 18 years of doing it.
Thank you very much. Did you say it was future life this time, Eric? Is that what I heard you say? And I was saying, we got some issues going on here, because I remember things. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You're welcome to sit back down. All right. Did you notice one thing from both of them? I gave them both the same opportunity. I want you to look up there at what's bolded, Heidi. I want you to look, Chris, at what's bolded. Your value. Now, you told us about a lot of other things about the PGA section. I gave you the opportunity to brag on yourself. Most people don't want to do it. They're very uncomfortable about that, and we need to get out of our comfort zone. Our best successes in whatever we do in life never come from within our comfort zone. We need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. We need to talk about our value, what is our superpower, what are the things that are going to make a difference for us. It is your value, because nobody's buying your organization unless they buy you first. That is the way it works. Human connection to people, not necessarily products. So we have to be able to say what we bring to the table that others don't. I give 110%. Great. I'm a people person. Fantastic. You don't think other people are going to say that? That's ibuprofen. That's generic. I need Advil. I need you to have your brand specific from everybody else that's in this room. In other words, I need everybody in this room for the rest of the day today, and the breakouts that are coming up here in just a moment, to start thinking about what is your light bulb and what it is that is your best idea and what is your superpower. Because your superpower is what's going to make a difference in your career, elevating you to the next level. It's going to make a difference for those who work with you in mentorship and getting them to the next level. We all have an inner genius. We all do. How do we use that? How do we do it? When we build a brand, and each and every one of us has one, and it's under construction always, we need to think about the unique image, name, and likeness. What is it about us that stands out? And when we do that, we think about what we do, why do we do it, how do we do it, but most importantly, how do we do it differently? I love speaking to college folks, college campuses. All the kids, you know what they do? Upperclassmen? They sit next to their friends. Hey, sit next to me. What they don't realize is the person sitting next to them that they call themselves, they sit next to me, is their competition. They're all in the same major. They're all going to be sending out resumes for the same types of jobs. So it's not just about what you do, it's how do you do it differently? How are you the green shoe instead of the white shoe? What's the impact that you will have made? And you need to think about your how I do it different more than what I do. That's what I want you to think about. Make them remember. When they leave your course, how sticky are you? How sticky is your team? How sticky is the experience? Close the deal. Elevate your game. Thank you very much for the time.
That was some pretty powerful stuff. So we are a little bit running short of time, so now we're going to break up into our 3 meetings. So I'd like to announce right now, if you're in this particular room, you're going to stay if you're in executive management. So please stay if you sign up for executive management. Everybody can stand up at this point because you're going to be going somewhere else. If you are in golf operations, you're going to follow Steve Monday. Steve's in the back right corner. You're going to go over to the men's card room. And if you're in teaching and coaching, you're going to follow Anthony Leone. You're going to go to the women's card room. And for the sake of time, these breakouts are going to be about 30 minutes tops. So thank you very much. This meeting is here today on the golf course. find a seat, if you can take a seat, we're trying to wrap up today's meeting. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your silence just for a minute. We're going to wrap up today's meeting. I'd like to call back up the stage Mr. Craig Hand for closing remarks. Can I get everybody's attention, please? Please. I hope everybody's had some fun here today. I hope those breakout sessions were valuable to you to gain some information. I was just walking with Eric back in here through the locker room, and I found something that I wanted to just use as a prop. And it's about what I think we all need to try to figure out how we do in whatever industry that we're in, and about how we can make ourselves more memorable, just as a mindset. I walked past, and Jeff probably walked out of the room, and the door closed, and he said, "Where did he go?" And I found this shoehorn. And it made me think about what we're all trying to do, right? There's 41 sections. How do you all shoehorn, if you will, your messages into a very crowded world and make them memorable? How do you all take your section and shoehorn your section into the 41 and make yours the one that stands out uniquely? Each and every one of us, we're all in a crowded landscape. We're all trying to figure out how we can get noticed and how we can do something for the better good. And if we're not, then we're not really working with the right mindset. I told my son the other day, the goal for me when you went to medical school after undergrad was for you to chase a career that never felt like a job. And I think that's what we all need to strive to do. In the end, he finished first in his class, which he clearly didn't get from me. I wanted him to be a sportscaster. He was going to do that, and then he made a change, and I asked him, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "I gave it a lot of thought, and I just feel like I'm really smart, and I wanted to do something special with my life." I said, "Okay, I'm really proud of that, but we got to change the narrative on that thing, because broadcasting was kind of a cool deal, I thought." Anyway, how do we shoehorn ourselves? How do we stand out? How do we become that? How do we become the green shoe section? How do we become the green shoe person? Now, I don't just talk about it. I actually live it, and I try to bring it to life in front of every audience. Now, some of you have been up here today, and you've actually had a chance to speak. And in the breakouts, I brought a couple of people up as well. And I pay attention to who is actually kind of owning the room. Who's got a message? Who's going to be memorable? Who's going to shoehorn themselves into my mind to make me remember them? But then, you know what? Everything changed. And I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about, what do I want to do with this? See, I travel this. I travel one of these. And this one, this time, is pretty easy. It's actually really easy. Because amidst all of you, I've been here for what, 30 hours maybe in this town? And I've felt something. And if it's all about feeling something and making a connection and doing something that's special, that makes you sticky and memorable, and there's only one person that this green shoe needs to go to. Hey Jeff, will you come up here?
you can have the box. So I signed it for you. It's got the logo on it. And what it says on there is, Jeff, keep finding ways to stand out. Now, it's very obvious that this man has stood out for a long time. And I've given out a lot of these green shoes, one for every audience I'm in front of. But I can't think of a time, and I mean this with all sincerity, that I've ever been in front of a group, because usually I handpick it from somebody that's spoken, that I've ever been in front of a group where somebody's had that emotional impact and feeling that you've clearly given everybody in this section. This green shoe is yours, and I'll let you say a word about it. Let's give him a round of applause.
Initially, thank you for everything you've done for us today, and this is just a lovely gesture, and I'm absolutely pleased and proud to hold it. It's been a long journey for me, and I've always tried to leave things just a little bit better than I found them, and make people a little happier than they might have been when they first arrived. And that's the way all of you make me feel. And gosh, I'm not sure I can do this again. Thank you.
All right, so here's the thing.
Right here, on this side. I do a selfie every time. I'm sure you do a million of these. TikTok, right? You're on TikTok? Hold that shoe up. Here we go. Here's our selfie. You gotta smile like that. Hold on, we need to take the flash off. Danny is doing a phenomenal job. Give Danny a round of applause. There you go. There you go. Hold that up there. Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
So I'll be out afterwards selling the book. The $20 that you'll pay Steve, who'll be sitting next to me, goes to PGA. And they've been kind enough to ask me to bring some of those along. I'll sign for each and every one of you if you choose to buy one. Zero pressure from me. I hope you'll enjoy it. It's about standing out. It's about all the things that I preach and teach. But it's about the importance of storytelling and knowing what your superpower is and being able to share that. And along the way in the book, I share my story. Successes, but more importantly, the failures, the things that I've learned from. A lot of those have helped shape me in my business and elsewhere. So I hope you'll pick me up on it, and I'll see you out there. And if you have questions for me, we can do it while I'm signing the book for you. I'm honored to be able to do that. I have some closing thoughts, some things that I wanted to share before I give the mic back to Eric, who's been kind enough to bring me here with Nikki, and thank you as well. This is a special sport that we're all in. It's a really special sport. And if you've been in it long enough, Jim, you know this. You touch a lot of people, and you make a lot of relationships. I mean, I've seen you at Whistling Straits. I've seen you at so many places. Tom, you and I go so far back. He was on the set with me during a live from years ago. We've stayed in touch for a long time. And several others of you in this room as well that I've known. Allison being one of them. I mean, it's great to see people again. But I want you to think when you walk out the room, are you being heard? About what your message is for those that work with you, for you, and those you have the opportunity, not obligation, but the opportunity to impact. Who's hearing you? Who is hearing you? What do you say, and how do you make people feel? If we're taking our brand to the next level, we want to kind of light it on fire and go someplace and really do something special, we have to use that superpower. And I was in the other room over there, and one of the gentlemen there said, I just don't know what my superpower is. That's totally fine. But there's no time like now to start thinking about it. What do they say? When's the best time to plant a tree? 30 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. I don't care whether you're 55. I don't care whether you're 35. You have an opportunity to make an impact and build that brand and create that legacy. That's important. So here's 3 for the road. 3 things for you all to think about as you leave today. The first one is, are you better? But more importantly, are you different than others who do what you do? Finding that superpower, finding that thing that makes you memorable is important. The sticky factor is huge. That's the first thing I want you to think about. The second one is about getting people's attention. Now, anybody bought a house in the last year? or sold one. The realtor comes, you beautify the front yard, curb appeal, and they plant the sign that says for sale. Well, guess what? That's prime real estate, right? You're trying to make money off of it. So too is this. So too is your next Zoom call. So too is your next email that you don't think about. So too is your next text message and how you communicate. That's all prime real estate for public speaking and messaging. And this right here is valuable. Some people never get tapped on the shoulder. They never get the chance. So what will you say when you get there? And what will they say when you leave? I want you to think about getting people's attention, keeping it, and sending them off to go tell somebody else. And lastly, can you make them remember your personal story, the value of you, which is big, and people don't give yourselves enough credit for that. Our stories are what ties us to other people. I guarantee somebody in this room here who was cut from a team and then made one the next year or the next year or the next year. We all have things that push us and that tie us together. Can you make people remember your story and your brand? It's the superpower that's going to take you to the next level, but you got to get a grip on it. You got to think about it. You got to figure out what it can do for you, where it's going to take you, and what you're going to do. I didn't have you close your eyes for no reason. I had you close your eyes and think about what impact you want, what your legacy is, and what value you truly bring, not just to you, but every audience you have, whether it's 2, 3, 200, or 2,000. It doesn't matter. When I was in college, I had a professor, and he said something to our class that I've never forgotten. It's in the book, and I share it with every audience. He told us as sportscasters and broadcasters, we had 1:30 for our package to hit air on the local news. Talked about the 8 seconds, and said you better put your best stuff first. You can't preach to anybody unless you can get them into the church. Now look, I don't mean this in a negative way. There's people out in the hallway. I don't have the opportunity to speak to them, nor would you. It's the physical presence of having people in a pew or a seat. And it's the mental presence of bringing them there with an open mind to listen to what your message is and preaching to them and having them go share it with somebody else. But if you can't get them there, creating awareness, your message goes unheard. You can't preach to anybody unless you get them into the church. Your job is to get them into the church of the Southern California section and share your message. How many of you in this room have ever heard of William Dawes? Not a lot. How many of you have heard of Paul Revere, that guy right there? It's amazing that people don't know the true story. They both did the same thing on the same night, right? One took the southern route and one took the northern route. So why does everybody remember Paul Revere and nobody's truly remembering William Dawes? I have a theory. In today's world, Paul Revere and his family had season tickets to the Red Sox. Their kids played travel volleyball. They belonged to the YMCA. He swam laps, had coffee with the other guys, hanging out. His wife was very involved in education and the local school system. And they were tied to the Rotary. Everybody knew the Reveres. The Dawes stayed at home. They stayed silent. Our brands have to become bigger. Our voices need to be heard. So on an important night, when something was happening in our history, everybody connected and said, Paul Revere, the British are coming. I know that guy. I know that guy. William Dawes riding a horse in the southern route. I don't know that guy. Close the door, go back inside. See, you're my Paul Revere. And you need Paul Revere. And this section needs Paul Revere. How do you create that? We create that with powerful messaging, better communication, and most of all, the thing I said about the light bulb at the very beginning, presentation. Presenting the best of our message, but presenting the best of ourselves to deliver it, to make the impact that we need. We all need Paul Revere. It's important. And the power of a voice is super important. Eric had it right here at this podium, and you might have it there someday as well. But you know what? Every stage is different. And your stage might be that stage. The power of a voice that you can make with somebody who is not getting a lesson, but getting an experience, and going and sharing with somebody else the message that you deliver on behalf of a section, a club, a course, or the PGA of America. But most importantly, yours. It's important. If you don't toot your own horn, there's no noise. People don't have a lot of time, and you got to be able to put it out there. I want you to think about when they're gone. What will they say about you? What will they say about your section? What will they say today? That's what I thought about before I ever got here. And what will they say when they're gone after a round of golf that's tied to you in some way, shape, or form? What impact will you have on your employees and those people? It's great to have a starter. We better close. And that's what I have to do today. We're all on the clock. We don't get a lot of time. Make the most of it. Make an impact. Make people remember you for what's most important. And I want you to think about elevating. Elevating your game. Not your handicap, but your game every day at work. And I want you to think about elevating this section as well. My final comment is this. I didn't have to be here. Although if I didn't show up, I might have been in trouble. But the way I look at it is, I got to be here. And so did you. And we all get to be a part of a great game. And so let's all elevate. And I hope you'll become a brand for you. Thanks for the time today.
I will be your Paul Revere, and I do have a secret power. I get to start and close meetings. So we all have a round of golf to go play, so we're excited to do this. So thank you again. That was really heartfelt and some great advice that we definitely can take home to our clubs and our other businesses. At this time, I'd like to do a quick call for old business. A quick call for old business. Is there any old business in the room? Looks like no calls for old business. Thank you. I have a call for new business. Any new business in the room? Yes, sir, Mr. Fiedler.
He just qualified for the senior U.S. Open in Wisconsin. Is he here?
I've not seen Rich today. He's probably trying to get some golf balls. But congratulations to Rich for qualifying for the senior U.S. Open. Thank you. Any other new business? Call for new business? No call for new business. That's good. And thank you. A call for open forum? Open forum? They do sort of sound similar, don't they? At this time, when everybody came in this morning, we had an opportunity to meet all the sponsors, and we were going to give away 2 $100 Visa gift cards. So we're going to award that to Robbie Newbill and John McCarthy. If they're in the room, Robbie Newbill, John McCarthy, come on up. At this time, I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. Thank everybody who participated and helped with today's event, and obviously Tamarisk Country Club. But first and foremost, I just want to thank the section staff, Nikki, her team, Max, what they're going to do out today on the golf course. Have a great afternoon. Sorry we went a little long. Enjoy a round of golf. And for those of you driving home, be safe. See you next time. Thank you.